Hey, hey, hey.
Hello sir, welcome to Ducati. How may I help you?
So I am at the perfect place. I want this Ducati.
Okay.
And I have a condition though.
And what is that?
I have only 10 lakh rupees. So get me the best bike you can get. I want to get a Ducati.
Sir, you might need to stretch a little bit.
हाँ ठीक है चलेगा चलेगा 10-15 हज़ार is not an issue. Here is the check. Here, give me the keys.
Sir, it doesn't work like that. You need to wait till the amount reflects in our account.
अरे
For the documentation, for the registration. But don't worry. Only for you, I'm going to expedite the things. And for your wonderful personality, here is the most affordable Ducati in India.
You mean the cheapest?
No, sir. Cheap. We don't say cheapest.
Okay.
We say the most affordable.
Thanks.
Sir, your
Now that we have established that this motorcycle, the Scrambler, is the most affordable Ducati you can get in India, thing is that it hasn't changed much since 2015, 2016 as such. And it's been 5 years. This motorcycle looks exactly the same with the subtle changes here and there. Although there are quite a few things which I don't like about this motorcycle at all. Number one being that this gets an air-cooled motor. There is an oil cooler right over here, but that's about it. If there was liquid cooling, things would have made a lot more difference. The sad looking halogen indicators have been updated to LED indicators, but the design is still similar and it looks a little flimsy right over here. You get an LED DRL, which is very nice. Let me show it to you once. But the problem is that you still get a halogen headlight. This DRL looks dope, but a halogen headlight again. Another thing is that I might be complaining a bit because the tank at 13.5 liters feels a little too small, because you get a riding range of close to 220 kilometers only. That is, once you hit the reserve, then you get that anxiety to go to a fuel pump and fill it up. Second thing is that the flex that the handlebar has, like this flex. So while pushing this motorcycle, you don't get as much confidence. Plus, you don't have anything up front, so there's a lot of wind blast. That's another problem. And last but not the least are the foot pegs. When I say about the foot pegs, they are of metal, but they are very useful. But then they are very thin, so that if you're wearing your normal shoes, or if you're not wearing riding shoes with a hard sole, it hits your leg and it feels not as comfortable. And the last thing which I don't like about this motorcycle is the heat that it dissipates in stop-go traffic, because it is an air-cooled motor and it gets hot because it is an 800cc motor. There is no tech like the V4 had of turning off the rear cylinder or something like that, because it only has 2 cylinders. And then that is a bit of a problem, because right now my legs are feeling a little bit roast. That said, the ergonomics are actually very nice, because you sit very upright. The riding posture is very comfortable if you're going for long or if you're going for short spins too. This motorcycle feels comfortable all the time. There's good enough cushioning for the rider, plus the seat height is accessible. This motorcycle is definitely affordable, the most affordable Ducati, and it is the most accessible Ducati too. Even with this bike, there is an option of having a low seat height option. So this seat height is close to 795 mm, and there is an option to get something close to 775, 785 mm too. So people who are not that tall and want to own a Ducati, they can definitely consider the Scrambler. Now let's talk about the updates which have come in and made a ton of difference. Number one being that now you finally get a fuel gauge from the meter. So yes, you know how much fuel do you have. Last time around when we rode it, this motorcycle only had a low fuel indicator, and then you could go only for 30-35 kilometers on that fuel. So you had to keep tanking up all the time. So that was a bit of a problem. Now there is not. You also get a gear position indicator plus a range that it shows. So with the switchgear also updated, you get a lot more details. Trip 1, trip 2, range, ambient temperature and settings, where you can set a lot of things. The left side switchgear is actually looking fresh and the build quality feels very nice. Same is the case for the right one. Now you get an option of switching on the DRL or turning on the headlight. Plus there's a hazard light button too, which is very useful. Although the essential design of the Scrambler has been taken as it is, because this thing, the look hasn't changed at all. And this one comes in this yellow shade, which looks very nice. Although a few might be disappointed that where is the red color. There is an option to get the red color, but yellow is the most prominent for the Scrambler. The meter is placed a little offset, so that is not a problem. Although the problem that is there is the brake line which is going on top of it keeps bothering me if I try to look at the meter, because from my view a bit of it is being hidden. So I have to look it from here like this. Yeah, that's about it. Like, I'm nitpicking a little, but yeah. Now for the rider, this place is very comfortable. I'm 5 feet 6 inches and I'm flat footing everywhere, so accessibility is good. But what if there's a pillion? Is there enough space? Adil, Aja? He can easily swing his leg up and there's decent enough space, but he's sitting too close. So this bike is actually comfortable for someone who is skinnier. Fat guys like us are a little uncomfortable. Thank you, Adil. And then the suspension on this motorcycle is not adjustable except for the rear one, which is an offset, that is only for the preload. You do get a hydraulic clutch this time, which makes things quite easy. The clutch is not that heavy, plus you get adjustable levers both for the brake as well as the clutch, making it very easy, making it more usable for you as per your reach too. Although I have a bit of a problem that the mirrors aren't really properly adjustable, and this one is just doing that said, I'll fix this with the toolkit which I have, which is a very expensive toolkit which I like a lot. Now looking into the bike, this motorcycle looks exactly the same, but then there are a few tiny differences and they pop out really well. Number one being that the alloy has come from the Scrambler 1100, and the diamond cut finish which has been there looks very nice. Pirelli rubber both at the front and the rear. Front is an 18-incher, rear is a 17-incher, which is an offset, looks nice. Does not show up much on the motorcycle, but it feels when you ride it. The mudguard is small, very tiny, splashes a lot of mud on the motorcycle itself. Apart from that, this changes for the logo. This cover has come in, that's about it. 3 cuts over here, and this cover has also been updated. This is similar to the same Scrambler 1100, and it ends with a small tail. That's about it. This motorcycle does look purposeful, does look very simple, and that is what the design of a Scrambler goes around very well. Let's ride it. Okay, it does redline close to 10,000 RPM. And within the second gear, it crosses the 100 kilometers per hour mark. Well, the engine is still the same, 803cc motor, L-twin with desmodromic valves. Yes, 2 valves per cylinder, producing close to 73 bhp and 66.2 Nm of torque. Considering the older model, the weight has come up by 3 kgs, but the power and torque have dropped down by 2 each. But that's fine, it does not matter as much. The best part that has happened is this bike has become smooth. Like, it's butter smooth now. There is so much refinement under 4,000, 5,000 RPM. Like, once you cross 6,000, only then the characteristics of the vibrations of the Ducati vibrations come into picture. This is actually so much better now that the engine is much more refined. The low end is actually usable, and then the mid range is actually quite tractable too. The moment you take off, low end and mid range are actually very usable on this motorcycle. So the engine feels very lovely, does not vibrate as much, feels very solid. And the good part is that I could actually adjust the suspension according to my liking, the rear preload, and because of that it is not too soft now. It has a bouncy feel, but not too much. 150 mm travel both at the front and the rear, which is very good and useful for Indian conditions like this, and a decent amount of ground clearance is actually quite a lot of fun. If you come down to an empty road on the first gear, you can actually lift a wheel and carry it. So there's no traction control, nothing to worry about. This motorcycle is pure fun. Even if I go off the road, it is not much of a problem, because let me show it to you. The only thing that's bothering me is this mirror, because it keeps going this. It's become too loose now. Doing circles, huh? Stunt boy, nice. Going off the road. Literally no problems with this motorcycle at all. The only problem that I have with this one is the fact that I cannot take a U-turn very easily. So this, the handlebar turning radius, even though the wheelbase is a lot less compared to the Multistrada, the turning radius is quite a lot more. Even this guy is enjoying the show. Although I have a bit of a problem with the handlebar design of this motorcycle, is that it flexes like this. So if I'm braking too hard or pulling too hard, it does this. And the brakes are also quite sharp. It gets a single disc at the front and a single disc at the rear with cornering ABS. That's a great thing, but switchable ABS is not there. Taking over speed breakers. That's it. Literally at the speed of 60 you can take on speed breakers without worrying too much. Fun. And as soon as you slow down and lead into a turn, this one does hold the line very well. My goodness, the riding dynamics are so very nice, so very usable. If you want a motorcycle that serves the purpose and that is nothing else but fun, and you want an icon, definitely consider the Scrambler Icon right over here, because this is the most affordable Ducati at 10.5 lakhs, and over the time of 5 years this one has increased the price by just 1 lakh with a ton of updates coming in. This one still is an attention seeker. It will give you the head turns that you require, and then you can have a lot of fun with it. This motorcycle is born free. However, there are motorcycles which are better in terms of performance and everything at the same price, like the Street Triple R. But if you want to get yourself some character from a motorcycle, get this and you will have fun for sure. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.